on to BYU. We got BYU finished 7-5 last year. Won the New Mexico Bowl versus SMU. I think that was kind of like a little shootout last year, if I'm not mistaken. At the end,
not a shootout, but it was a close game.
Yep. Last year, they were independent, as I mentioned earlier. Now in the Big 12, they lost Jaren Hall to the NFL, Puka Nacua to the NFL, Chris Brooks, running back, to the NFL, Keaton Slovis, who I'm not really high on, transfers in from Pitt. Aiden Robinson transferred from UNLV, running back, who had 1,000 yards last year in the Mountain West. Because the Mountain West isn't a bad conference at all. 9 touchdowns. They returned 11 starters, 7 on defense. Hey, they're going to fit right in with this. 94th in total defense, 82nd in passing defense, and 98th in rushing defense. Ace, give me something about BYU.
I got another one. 128th in opponents' passing completions. 69%. Right in. 408 yards per game allowed, 30 points per game allowed. Wow, this is probably one of the worst defenses last year. It's really crazy when you think about it. But the head coach fired basically everybody on their defensive staff except for the cornerback coach, who happens to be a pretty good recruiter for them. So I understand why he stayed. So I don't know. Let's see what they can do. They're bringing in defensive coordinator Jay Hill, who was with Weber State from the FCS. Yes, and Weber State had one of the better defenses in the Big Sky Conference, I guess, for the past couple of years, apparently. So let's see that translates to the FCS ball. FCS.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. 47th overall recruiting class. We're going to go on to the schedule. Speaking of FCS, the first game is against Sam Houston State, who's actually a really good FCS school, but I have BYU taking the W.
Yeah, BYU taking the W as well.
All right. From that, we go to Southern Utah, where I have BYU taking another W.
Yeah, same.
All right. From that, we go to at Arkansas, which I think is going to be. I don't know. I think it's going to be close. For some reason, this game, I think last year was close, right? But I have
it was pretty close. So maybe I'm thinking of somebody else, because I know Arkansas played somebody and it was like a pretty good game. It might have been BYU.
You talking about the bowl game last year? That bowl game was crazy last year.
I don't know.
You thinking about the Kansas bowl game?
Oh yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking about. It's like 40 or something like that. Yeah,
that game was crazy. I think the final was like 55, 53, and like triple overtime or something like that.
Yeah, definitely triple overtime.
All right, so at Arkansas, I had BYU taking their first L.
Yeah, I had them taking the L as well. I think Arkansas just has too much for them.
Yes, sir. Moving on, we have the first game in Big 12 conference play for them at Kansas, where I have them taking an L.
I had them taking the L as well, but there's an asterisk beside it. Still
toss up. For sure.
Still interesting to see how Kansas is going to come out.
Both teams' defenses are very shaky. From Kansas, we go to Cincy, where I have them taking another L, having them 0-2 in conference play.
I have them actually taking a W in this one. I don't think Cincy is going to be that great. I heard they're bringing in Emory Jones and all these people and new coaching. I just think it's going to be a culture shock for them.
Yeah, we'll touch on to the new coach in a second. From Cincy, we have at TCU, where I have BYU taking a 4th straight L.
Yes, I have them taking the L as well.
All right, moving on from TCU to Texas Tech, where I have them getting their first W in Big 12 play.
Texas Tech, they're taking the L.
You have them losing to Texas Tech.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, okay, that's 2 Texas Tech W's off the gate. I'm interested to see this Texas Tech segment.
I like this. I like Texas Tech.
All right, moving on from Texas Tech, we have at Texas, where I have them taking the L. Yes, sir. From Texas, we have at West Virginia, where I have them getting a W in Morgantown.
I have them getting a W in a hard-fought game. That probably shouldn't be that hard-fought.
Yes, sir. From West Virginia, we move on to Iowa State, where I have them getting another W.
I have them getting a W as well over Iowa State.
From Iowa State, we move on to Oklahoma, where I have them taking an L.
I have them taking an L as well.
And to finish the season, they finished at Oklahoma State. I don't know. For some reason, I think they ruined their senior day. It's a toss-up in my opinion, but I think they do come out with the W over Oklahoma State.
I can see that. I think that at that point in the season, they may not have so much to play for. So I can absolutely see them coming in there. Or maybe they're playing for their bowl eligibility,
That's exactly what I was going to touch on.
and playing hard. But I mean, this is the thing about this BYU team. I think of all the teams as well, they are the only ones that come in that have an actual home field advantage. You know what I mean? Like, they have the fan base. They're dedicated to them. They're going to root for them whether they win, lose, or draw. You know, so I think that's something that's going to be very valuable in the Big 12. And hopefully they can use that to their advantage, especially bringing in, like you said, Keaton Slovis, who I'm not sold on either. I mean, he's bounced around. He's had nearly 10,000 yards in his career, but I mean, he's still not a guy who you think is somebody you want to put out there in the hard times of the game and going to pull out that W for you.
Yeah, I'm not sold on Keaton Slovis. I think he had Amon-Ra St. Brown and Drake London. He still look bad. So yeah, I'm really not sold on, bro.
But then this is another thing about BYU. They've had winning records in the last 16 to 17 years and bowl eligible in the last 17 to 18 years. So
this is exactly why I think that coming into Oklahoma State at 5-6, they're going to be amped and they're going to get the W and go 6-6, 4-5 in conference play, making them bowl eligible.
Yeah, pride goes a long way, for sure.
Exactly. And I think for that reason, they beat Oklahoma State. But I would like to say that, I mean, yeah, BYU has for sure a crazy environment to play in, but so is Oklahoma, Texas, Oklahoma State, Texas Tech. Like these places, they get rowdy too.
Yeah.
So, like I said, I have BYU. Oh, go ahead. Hey, it's my bad.
But are they Mormons? That's the real question.
A lot of energy built up.
It's a lot of pent up energy. That's all I'm saying. Get ruckus.
Hey man, this is a PG show, man. All right, so we got BYU. I have BYU, finishing 6-6, 4-5 a conference play. As I said earlier, Ace, what do you have BYU finishing at?
I have BYU finishing at 5-7 or 6-6, or somewhere around there.
Okay, so you have them possibly missing a bowl game. Respect. I'm not mad at that. Like I said, a couple of these games are toss-ups. Moving on from BYU, we have Cincy.
Thank you for staying to the end. If you're watching this on YouTube, please like this video, subscribe, and also hit that notification button so you can be notified next time we put out a video. If you're listening on any podcast platform, subscribe and hit that notification button, y'all, so you can be notified we put out another podcast audio. And last but not least, hit that share button, no matter what you're listening to or watching it. Hit that share button and send it to somebody that you know that would love to watch this episode you just listened to. So once again, thank you for staying to the end, and we'll see y'all in the next episode.